Hey y'all, it's Mousy. I've got a chipped tooth and head cold. Yay. And you're right, I'm not in my normal place. Um, Two of those things are connected, and one isn't. The chipped tooth, I didn't expose the nerve, so I'm not bad off with pain. So, the chipped tooth was no biggie, and I was fine. But then my daughter needed a wisdom tooth taken out, so I came here to watch her when Mystic Razor goes to work. That's her fiance. They're going to get married later this year. I watch over her because when she's on pain meds, oh, she loops. The other night, I had to do the night-night ritual with her that I did with the kids. Last time was 16 years ago, I believe, that I did night-night ritual. Anyway, so I'm here at our old house. Pinky and I moved in with his mom. I let Winter Faye, which is my oldest, and Mystic Razor stay here in the family home, so it's still family home. They just took over the mortgage payments and pay bills. So, yay. Anyway, I was here. I gladly came here because my husband got sick. Now, normally I'll call him Pinky, or my hubby, but he got sick. And when he gets sick, me and the kids call him Plague Bear. Why? Because, well, one, he is a bear. Not a real bear, I'm just a bear. When he wakes up, grr. When he's hungry, grr. When he's involved in something, if you disturb him, grr. A bear. Plague Bear, because when he gets sick, he gives it to everybody else, but he mutates it and makes it worse before he gives it to you. He got a head cold. I'm lucky I escaped with a head cold. Normally, I would have gotten walking pneumonia or pneumonia. Mystic Razor, one time, got a mild case of swine flu from one of his head colds. Swine flu! Who does that? My husband. Now, I am dressed, see, but I'm keeping this up here because I thought I'd gotten away clean. So, of course, I didn't pack my Bengay or Vicks. Now, the Bengay I put behind the ear and in front of the ear, down to the throat, and coat the throat. That prevents the ear infection and it soothes the throat so you don't cough as much or as bad. And the Vicks, well, we all know about the Vicks. You put it right here, you put it right here, and you put it right here. Now, normally I'll add a knit cap to keep this warm, so, the gunk in the head will go down. And that's why you need the Bengay. And, I'll take off the old yuck and put the new stuff on a few times a day. And if I feel like it's going into the chest, I coat the chest, and then I'll coat the back. That's where the doctors listen to your lungs, is in the back. So why not use that to your advantage and do the back? And I'll also do the sides because the lungs are on the sides. So I hit it from 3 directions. So, I get healthy quicker. Of course, Plague Bear doesn't believe in all that, so, yeah, he stays sicker longer. But, yeah, like I said, I'm over at our old house, at Winter Faye's house. When the kids were younger. And before we got this place, it was a 3-bedroom, 1 bath, or 2 baths. We had our bath, of course, and our bedroom, and the girls shared a room, and then Chief the boy had his own room, but all 3 kids shared a bathroom. Plague Bear gets sick, and it cut down on any fights between either of the girls and Chief. Since the girls shared the room, there was still some fights with the girls. But it cut down because they didn't want to be out in the open. No, because all the germs might go from Plague Bear to them. And nobody likes being sick. So, I'd get them up in the mornings and go wake Plague Bear up. And he'd get ready and they'd get ready. But since it was slightly different, and he didn't have to come out until the last minute to, go to work, the kids were safe to rummage around, eat breakfast, and then we'd head down to the bus stop. I'd go get them in the afternoon, and bring them home. They'd dilly-dally a little bit because either Plague Bear was in the bedroom or at work. Now, if he felt up to it, he'd come out and get on the computer, and then they'd come home, go to the kitchen real quick, and then boom, into the rooms. But for the most part, if Plague Bear was activated, they'd come home, zoop for a minute or two, and then into the rooms. Now, when we got this place, because the other house got squished, and I will tell you about that later. But when we got this place, kids were a tiny bit older. But this place has a room for each kid, and 2 bathrooms for the kids. We had our bedroom and bathroom, but the girls each had a separate room. Thank God, because they were doing puberty while they were sharing a bedroom, and so that cut down on the girls' fights. And then since Chief had his own bathroom, that cut down on the fights. So we were 95 to 99% clear of all fights when Plague Bear was invoked. And, that was a blessing and a curse. But they'd go down the bus stop, come back, put their stuff up, go to their rooms. Now, in the old place, we didn't have the dishwashers, and they were young. So they would eat out in the kitchen or in the dining room if he was really sick, because they wanted that little extra bit of leeway. And then 2 of them would go to the rooms, and then 1 would stay behind to do the dishes. And it normally wasn't Chief the boy, because he was still young enough when we lived in the old place that I didn't want him doing dishes. We didn't have a dishwasher, so it had to be done by hand. Once we got this place, we got a dishwasher. So he started helping with the dishwasher, and so it was easier. And once we got this place, they'd come, they'd eat dinner real quick, and then person doing the dishes, and then zip. But as they got older, I would give them a little more leeway. I mean, it is the Plague Bear. So when they got old enough, and I figured they were responsible, when he was sick, they were allowed to eat in their rooms. So I saw them even less, and there was even, it was a guaranteed 99 to 100% chance of no fights. Like I said, both a blessing and a curse. Because I still had to deal with him. So sometimes I would sort of kind of get sick. I'm not feeling good, y'all just, and that's how we invented psychic hugs. We'd spread our arms wide and pat the air and go, pat the air and go, psychic hug, and you just kiss, or the air, and, that was kiss. But, yeah. It's fun having a man who can give you pneumonia just by sneezing. This time he kissed me though, so yeah, we both forgot he was sick, and it's like, bye honey. Oh jeez. But yeah, I'm in Choof the boys' old room that's now the guest room. So it's also the furthest away. So after they're married, when Winter Faye, gets pregnant, she's got 2 other rooms that she can set up for kids' rooms. And then if she has more than 2, then, she gets to do what everybody else did in their family. Okay, you can sleep on the couch because Grandma is taking over your bedroom. Oh, man! I normally wouldn't mind hitting the couch, but as I get older, yeah, I'm not going to be able to be a couch jockey. But I will try and remember to do the Squished House story here very shortly, and you'll get to hear about that, and how a huge chicken saved the family. I'm Mousy, and I'm outie.